Well, it certainly is quite a challenge for Ossie today as he takes Spurs to Newcastle, First Division champions, by some 8 points. And, of course, Ossie was manager there for 11 months before he was succeeded by Kevin Keegan. We're going to be hearing from Kevin Keegan in just a moment. But first, Barry Davies gauges the mood within the city of Newcastle.
Just best team in the land now, like. Just who can feel? Not us. No way.
They get like 11 games on the trot again, and they'll just be champions by Christmas.
They are now, I think, going to rub shoulders with the best. And as long as Hall and Keegan keep together for a period, I would think of 4 or 5 years at least, they're going to be alongside Liverpool, Man United, Spurs, Arsenal and Villa. And they could make a mould, I think, which if one of them goes could last another 5 or 6 years. No, this is a great period.
Advance ticket sales have already pulled in £7.5 million, and there are 5,000 people on the waiting list. In an area of marked unemployment, to follow Kevin Keegan's team is a priority.
There's something about Kevin that he just captivates, like, you know, like the spirit of Newcastle. And he's got so much like charisma, and he puts so much into his job. And I'll be surprised if he's not the England manager in the next 2 years.
If we get off to a good start, watch us go. As John Hall would say, watch us come through.
The 3,000 supporters who travelled to Ibrox for a pre-season friendly saw their team do just that, beating Rangers 2-1. But in their final warm-up game at Anfield against Liverpool, one challenge on Peter Beardsley left Newcastle to start the season without the man whose experience was to be a guiding light. Even so, enthusiasm is undimmed.
The public have expected success, so they've been hurt more, you know, when the success hasn't been there. A bit silly, but that's the way it has been. We expect Newcastle and Sunderland to be on the top, and, you know, we've had to wait such a long time. The people on Tyneside, not on Wearside, the people on Tyneside, you know, feel that this can be a breakthrough with Keegan and with this quality team he's assembling, and I agree with them.
It would be stretching a point a bit to say that all is ready. They were still battening down seats yesterday, and the chairman's advice is not to stand too close to the paint. But the vision of the future, with the completion of the Leazes End stand, the Gallagher End will follow, is as clear as the hopes of those to whom success means so much.
I'm expecting top 6 and win one of the cups. That's what I'm after.
Everybody wants to be part of sort of a winning team, and everybody wants to wear Newcastle United shirts and T-shirts. It does matter. Everybody's happier when they're winning, you know, definitely.
Well, Kevin, you're not lacking in motivation, are you?
No, it's tremendous around the town. It's been like this now virtually for 12 months because we had such a good start last season. And then it ended with us, maybe everyone thought we were stumbling a little bit, but we got it right back on track and ended up with a great performance here against Leicester. So they've never really come down, the people. And it's nice it should happen to the Geordies. You know, they've waited a long time, as people said on those clips.
Now, the chairman has clearly speculated to accumulate. I mean, there's a lot of money being put in, and you need to be successful. It's quite a jump between the old First Division and now Premier Division, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're in with the big boys now, but it's a big club. And what makes me confident is the players. Simple as that. I mean, it's lovely what's happening here. And the chairman and the board of directors have been 100% behind me. I mean, I've never had a problem. If I want a player, he's there. If I wanted to sell a player, I've had a problem. I've had more problems getting players out. He seems to want to keep hold of everybody, and he sometimes doesn't realise you have to prune as well for the sake of the players as much as for the club. But it's a club that's going places, and I think one of the quotes on there that there's a mould there for the next 5 or 10 years, I think is a very, very wise thing to say. I think the structure's right now at the club.
Talking about selling players, there can't be too many managers who get promoted and then sell their 2 top scorers from the promotion season, which you've done in Kelly and Gavin Peacock.
That's right. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, both those lads did a terrific job for us last season. But I think everybody knows when you go into the next league, you've got to have different ideas, you've got to have a different way of playing. And certainly I felt that the fees we got for them were right, so I could try something else. And again, although, as I said to you, the board weren't 100% behind me in selling players, they've never, ever questioned anybody I've bought. So we'll see. I'll be judged on what happens this year, and of course that will be thrown back at me over the season if we don't score goals or we're not successful.
And you've had an unlucky start because clearly Peter Beardsley was important. I mean, you're going to miss him now for a quarter of the season, aren't you?
That's right, we're going to miss him, and we're going to miss Mark Robinson, and we're going to miss Brian Kilcline. But we have accumulated a very good squad here, Barry, you know, and we've now got a chance today to see just how strong that is. We'll have a lad playing who, I think, to be fair, most of the 35,000 here today won't have seen, and that's Nicky Papavasalou. And I've no qualms about putting him in. He's done very well at Rangers and places like that, so his pedigree's right, he's played international. We've got a good squad. I'm more interested in coming down here. I was worried about my seats. We've sold every seat in the place, and Terry Mack says make sure he doesn't sell the dugout. There's a platinum club, there's a boardroom club, there's going to be a dugout club before the end of the season.
And you've also bought Malcolm Allen just as the season's starting. I mean, obviously that he's going to take the Beardsley role a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to play him up front today. He's a player I've liked a long, long time. We put a list out. Obviously, we were forced into it a little bit more than we'd like to be by the fact that Peter got injured. But I wouldn't like people to read into that he's here as a stopgap. I like him. He's a bubbly little player. He's a Newcastle United type player. He's a type of player that these people want to see here. And when you talk about Newcastle fans, to sum them up in one sentence, they want us to win. But more important than that, they want us to play well and play in a style like we did last season. That's what has captivated those people. It's not just winning promotion to the Premier League, it's the style in which we did it, and that's what we're going to try and do in the Premier. It won't be as easy, we won't dominate games as much, we won't have as much possession, but we've got the players to do it. I believe it, and if they believe it, and most of them are very confident lads, we've got a real chance of causing a few surprises.
Thanks, Kevin.
Pleasure.
Well, I think they'll do well, but I hope they do well anyway for the supporters because they supported them right through the bad times, and it'd be great if they could finish in the top six. I can't really see them challenging for the championship. They've got 2 or 3 injuries, but Keegan and McDermott have got a vast experience to the big time. As I say, I think they'll do well.
If it was just the passion of the fans and the love of Newcastle Football Club, then they'd win everything, wouldn't they?
They'd win everything in sight, and
yeah.
I'm sure at 3 o'clock today, Newcastle will be the place to be.
The interesting thing I thought Kevin said was that the thing that makes him confident is his players, and that is reality.
That is reality. That's the most important thing. Once they cross the white line, the supporters can help you, but it's the players. It's all about players, and when they get in that pitch, again at 3 o'clock today, it's these players that have got to do the business for them.
So you fancy them to do reasonably well without particularly...
I think they'll consolidate. I would imagine he'd be quite happy to finish in the top 10.
Or a cup?
Maybe.
Okay. Well...